Our Earth has faced climate change for the past few years. Climate change is a long-term shift in temperature and weather pattern. There are many impacts of climate change, including global warming. Global warming is the change observed in the Earth climates since the mid-20th century driven by human activity, including fuel burning and increased greenhouse gases level. Drought, decreased temperature, changing precipitation pattern, and highly destructive hurricane are the impact of the global warming. The impact will surely cause a threat to the coral reef ecosystem.
Yes, it's true. Climate change can cause the ocean temperature to rise and then lead to coral bleaching. Coral and algae that live in their tissue called zooxanthellae have a symbiotic relationship. Corals depend so much on this algae as it was their primary food source and give them their color. The factors of coral bleaching happen when the ocean temperature increases and stresses the symbiotic relationship. The zooxanthellae leave the coral's tissue. Corals then left bleach. Without the algae, corals turn white and more susceptible to disease.
Okay, we have our expert in the field of the coral bleaching to share the impact of this event to the ecosystem and human.
Let's move to our reporters to interview the experts.
So, we have invited 3 marine scientists to share about the impacts of coral bleaching on ecosystem, reef-associated organisms, and humans.
Hi, I'm Professor Fadila. Yes, coral bleaching can cause short and long-term impact towards the ecosystem. The short-term impact include reduction of coral calcification. Coral will undergo less energy production since the photosynthetic algae, or known as zooxanthellae, is being kicked out from the coral tissue. Besides, the coral also will increase its susceptibility to disease. This condition will happen when coral is under stress and can lead to mortality. These coral bleaching events also cause long-term impact to the ecosystem. It can weaken coastal protection, reduce biodiversity. As we know, coral is the mangrove of the sea. It acts as the barrier to protect land from waves and minimize the destructive impact. Coral reef is known for its diversity and home to various species of fish and organisms. If all coral bleach and die, biodiversity will be depleted and food chain is disrupted.
Hello, I'm Dr. Atira. Coral bleaching also harms reef ecosystem and impact many creatures in both the short and long term. This short-term effect include reduced food production, increased susceptibility to disease and predation. To make it easier to understand, imagine coral as an animal that relies on tiny algae living inside it for food. When coral gets stressed, it kicks out the algae and can't eat properly. This also weakens the coral's immune system, making it easier to get sick. To top it off, bleached coral becomes weak and crumbly, making it easier for fish and other animals to munch on it. While the long-term effect are loss of reef structure, changes in fish population, and reduced biodiversity. Coral reefs are like giant underwater cities for fish and other sea creatures. But when coral gets stressed and dies from bleaching, it's like the buildings in that city start to crumble. This pushes out all the fish who live there. And pretty soon, the city becomes a ghost town, with fewer and fewer kinds of sea creatures finding what they need.
Reduced fishery is one of the short-term impact to human that caused by coral bleaching, as coral offers shelter for breeding, heating from predator, and also food availability. Hence, this will eventually impacting food security and fishery livelihood. Next, coral bleaching is also affecting tourism for coastal communities and leading to decreased economic development. As the time goes, coral bleaching will disrupt the ecosystem and changes the water quality, leading to potential waterborne illness that affect human health. Not only that, healthy reefs act as natural barriers to protect coastline from wave and storm. Hence, bleached and dying coral lose this ability, increasing rate of coastal erosion and threatening infrastructure and community along the beach.
Here is some public service announcement for the community on how to reduce and slow down the impact of climate change on coral bleaching.
Hello friends, have you ever wondered, as a human being, what can we do to avoid further tension on coral reef besides the continuous impact of climate change? Hey, why the light still on? Didn't they switch it off before leaving?
First, energy conservation. Switch off all the electrical appliances when not in use.
So let's go to the field to check on our coral. Okay, let's be fetch you. Hey, here!
Reduce the greenhouse gases emission, which is mostly released by our transportation.
I am fragile.
Lastly, practice responsible snorkeling and diving to minimize damage to coral reefs.
After all, we humans are the reason for this climate change, and only us are able to slow it down. Let's be a climate champions. Small step for a vibrant future of the coral reef.